In this section, we are going to be looking at JavaScript number methods, particularly parse integer and toFixed. So these are commonly used in JavaScript, and in order to convert and make sure that your variable is a number, so you can use number or parse integer that will turn that value into a number, as well as toFixed is commonly used whenever you're doing calculations with that you expect at least 2 decimal places. Then you can set it to toFixed 2, and that will provide 2 decimal places, so in line with currencies. And there's more information that's available at the Mozilla Developer Network. So I've got the link within the reference guide, and you can see that we're setting up, so there's option to set up a new number. You can declare it as a new number, and you can also update and convert a string value into a number. So turning b is equal to 123 is true, whereas this value is going to be false because we're setting this up, but it's not actually a number that we're passing in there. So A is an instance of a number, B is an instance of a number. So A is an instance of a number because we're setting it up as a number object, but it's going to be returned back as false because we're not passing a number in there. And for most of the time, the way that you're going to be using it is you're going to be converting strings to numbers in JavaScript. And there's a bunch of other options here for numbers, and these aren't as commonly used. The one that is important to note is none to determine whether a value passed in is a number. So you get a Boolean returned there depending on if it's a number or not. There's an example here of a value being passed in, and we see that this is not a number, so we get returned back not a number. And you can run this and see the results. So a challenge for this lesson is to try some of the number methods, and I'll show you and I'll walk you through some of those. Let's create some numbers. So we've got my num1, and setting this up to, let's give it a value with a bunch of decimal places, and we'll try the toFixed, as well as we've got another one, so my num2, and we can take this value, and this will be a string. We're going to convert that one to a number, and then using the console, we'll use console log to log out that number value. So for now, we'll just log out my num1, and I'll show you what gets logged out as well as my num2, and we'll do some conversions. So when we refresh, we see that the first one is a number because it's blue in the console, and then the second one is black because that's not a number. So if we did want to turn it into a number, there's a number of ways to do this. So if we wanted to turn my num into a number, we could use number, and then wrap it within the rounded brackets and pass in a value. So this is where we could pass in any value that we wanted. We could pass in a string value, and you can see that that turns it into a number. If you pass in a Boolean value, you can see that also turns it into a number. So this is another way to use number, where you can convert any type of variable value into a number if it converts into a number. And if you try to convert something that's not a number, test, then you get returned back NaN. So that's the result that you're going to get back if it can't be converted into a number format. And of course, my num1 is already a number, so there's nothing to convert there. You can also do it parse integer. So this is another way to convert a value into a number. You can see it does convert it into a number. Output the Boolean value, and that's not a number, whereas number was converting those Booleans into numbers. When we have a Boolean in parse integer, it's only going to parse it into an integer. It's not going to try to convert it into a number. So that's the difference there, slight difference in the way that you can use these. The other one that we can use as well is we can use the toFixed, which allows us to take a value. So this one, we do have a number. So using my num1, we're going to apply the toFixed to it. And then this is where we can set the number of decimal places we want to go. So in this case, we've got 4. And most commonly when you are using currencies, of course, you've got dollars and cents. So converting it into 1000.20.32 is ideal when you're outputting a value in a currency format. So go ahead and try all of these out. Have some fun with it, experiment with it, and get more familiar with what you can do with number methods in JavaScript.